Watching movies is one of the most common activities or pastimes in our society. For most of us, it is quite enjoyable. When we go to the movie theater or we get set up in front of our screens at home, we decide to put the rest of our lives aside and focus our attention on the film. We do this to experience entertainment and to feel something, because movies make us feel emotions. Now, everyone has a favorite movie or a favorite movie genre. Some of us love horror films, some of us hate horror films, some of us prefer comedies, romances, or dramas. Each of these genres makes us feel different kinds of emotions, but what do those differences look like in the brain? My question is, if we can go to the movies and undergo these different emotional experiences, does that mean that we can bring the movies into our research lab to study these emotions? Well, that is what I am going to do. I will have 30 participants undergo functional magnetic resonance imaging, a way to image brain activity, while watching movies. This is a more naturalistic way to study emotions in the brain because rather than using simple stimuli like black and white photos of facial expressions to study emotion, we are using the complex stimuli of movies, which is the best way that we can mimic reality inside an MRI scanner. So, participants will view 3 short films of varying emotional intensity and valence. A high arousal film with negative valence, like a very scary horror film, a high arousal film with positive valence, like a very happy romantic comedy, and a low arousal film with neutral valence, like a very dry, boring documentary. We will then compare everyone's brain activity for each film using a technique called intersubject correlation analysis. In simplicity, this technique takes the same brain region in 2 participants and compares its activity throughout the entire time course of the movie. This process is then repeated for every possible pair of participants for every single region in the brain. By doing this, we will see the correlation in brain activity across all participants. This will create a map of brain activity for each film. We can then compare these maps to each other to see 2 things. First, the similarities in brain activity, regardless of genre, and second, the differences in brain activity depending on genre, depending on if that film was really scary and intense, very happy and romantic, or just plain boring. So, by bringing the movies and the common activity of movie watching into the lab, we can attempt to better mimic reality and induce these genre-specific emotions, and, therefore, learn to understand how we process them. Ultimately, I want to know how the brain processes the emotions of our everyday lives, and I think that movies are a great place to start. Because after all, what is life if not one extra long movie? Thank you.